Hi, Michael. It's great to see you here in Austin. Thanks for taking some time to speak with me.
Thank you for having us.
I would love to start out with you just telling us a little bit more about yourself and what you're doing at Global Expansion Strategies.
Sure. Born in Somali Republic, East Africa, till the age of 6, followed by several years in the Middle East, Europe, and did most of my teenage years in Latin America. Came to the US, graduated Caltech, did my MBA at the Monterey Institute of International Studies, and pretty much had the international DNA in me to continue that through my next journey in life, which was my professional career. And so I found myself shortly after graduating from the MBA program helping several ed tech companies in Silicon Valley expand globally. Roll forward several years to where we are now. Global Expansion Strategies is a global growth advisory and investment firm. And we work with early to mid-stage ed tech companies specifically to expand globally, including the United States, as well as finance the growth of those companies.
Incredible. Incredible story. I didn't know that about you, actually. I would love to hear more about, I think the global ed tech market is really frothy right now, a lot of things happening. I'd love to hear your perspective on kind of where things are and where you think things are going.
Yeah, so from the international market, you have two sort of camps. You have the public school markets, which are always publicly funded by international ministries of education. They're going to continue to provide education services to that segment. And then you have the private market. These are private schools that are now increasing in size simply because they can now accommodate not only sort of higher socioeconomic students, but also lower socioeconomic students. And the benefits there are that private institutions now can give premium education to sort of medium to lower ed socioeconomic students. And in that world, everybody benefits. They're increasing in size globally, and by that means that they're expanding through acquisition. So not only are they able to provide premium education in their existing countries throughout the scale of socioeconomics, but also throughout the region, multiple countries, including other geographies as well. And so we have found that to be one of the unique strategies in helping these early ed tech companies expand globally, right? Simply, the strategy is don't rely only on the United States, where there's considerable amount of challenges, funding, all sorts of obstacles and budget. And so we always advise companies diversify, not only internationally, but domestically as well.
Sure, makes sense. And we've been so lucky to have you advising us here at Neurotech, so thank you for that. Mm-hmm. And I'd love for you to talk a little bit more about how you think Neurotech can kind of fit into that global ed tech ecosystem.
Tremendous platform. One of the biggest challenges that we're seeing internationally, as well as domestically, as these education institutions, private schools, virtual schools, charter schools, expand their enrollments, they're bringing in students. And the staff don't have an idea where these students are academically, whether they have any kind of learning disabilities. So being able to diagnose that early on really gives the staff and team at the school a significant advantage of understanding the students, whether it's learning disabilities, attention disorders. It just helps them in their overall trajectory. Here in the United States, schools usually don't see those kinds of attention disorders until it's too late. And the de facto is put the student on an IEP, which, there's really no data there to substantiate there is remediation or tools to help that because it's too late at that point. Right. So understanding that earlier is a tremendous benefit.
Right. Yeah, we're really proud to be able to assess students no matter where they are on the continuum of their education and provide the data needed for appropriate intervention. I wanted to ask you about something else as well. I know you've been doing some work with schools in the United States as it pertains to the funding that many of them received during the pandemic and unfortunately is now being kind of clawed back and how you see that impacting education here in the United States and also how you think Neurotech may be able to help there as well.
So I would say immediately what we are starting to see is as a result of the funding being clawed back, counselors and psychologists in these education institutions, their contracts are not being renewed. So they're here for another couple of months, and they will not be starting the new school year. So what does that do? It leaves a tremendous void of these students now continuing their education journey with very little oversight as to addressing their learning or attention disorders. So bringing in a technology like Moxo from Neurotech, where it can be administered by a school staff member, not necessarily a counselor or psychologist, is tremendously beneficial at this stage.
Right, agreed. And we've really built our tool to be very readable and digestible by everyone, and again, be able to really swiftly use the data to provide impact and positive impact for the students.
Yep.
Great. Well, thank you so much. It was a pleasure to speak with you, Michael. I really appreciate it.
Jen, thank you. It's been a privilege.
Great.